What was it like then when you'd done that work, taken that step back, done that work, and then you came to do the next challenge?
It is like complete different person, because like literally the person doing that challenge was, I had goals like you've mentioned, like my goal was to be in the leadership board. Like I've actually stepped down from trading my funded to trading like someone I know, a personal fund, because it just removed that ego. When I trade that on like IC markets, whatever broker, I have no thoughts of like, one more 1 to 20, and I could be at the leadership board. Whereas I had that, and it's just like, I would remove it if I, because who am I trading for? Me or like, do you know what I mean? Like social media. So like, it's a different person, because like I said, when I was doing challenges, I felt like getting funded was associated to my self-worth, right? That was a huge thing. That literally meant like every time I failed, I felt like a failure, right? But that step back I took, and the space between that and today is completely, trading does not define me. It does not define my happiness, how cool I am, how I feel as a person. It's not to do, do you know what I mean? It's not.
Do you think, did it come from when you said you did that sort of hierarchy and you realized that trading wasn't the sort of end goal, wasn't really as important as you think? Do you think that was a defining moment to have that switch?
Great. You're fully in the moment, recognizing. Yeah, 100%. That was part of, that was a huge thing that gave me the ability to detach my results from my self-worth. Yes, because I was like, when I went down my spiritual journey and I became closer to God, I was like, how is failing a challenge or like a losing day keeping me up at night? But missing all my prayers is not keeping me up at night. Like it's not making sense. So when I realized like my priorities were all wrong, everything had to change. And when I put like my faith in the middle and everything is around it now, everything, like the times I go gym, everything has to be around it, then it worked out well, because I can go sleep now feeling like I've done everything I could. I could always do more, 100%. But I'm content. I'm just like, do you know what? Like, I've done my 5 daily prayers. I've done this. Like, I've done my session. And yeah, it's not the dominator of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's several reasons why it was the dominator. I've literally been in the past, I've traded to fill a void.
Yeah.
Some people trade to fill their loneliness. Some people, like I said, associate with their self-worth. They want to feel like a winner. There's so many reasons, and I had to, like I said, it's deep work. It
really is, yeah. No, 100%. Because one thing you alluded to earlier was like the different characters, if you will, or how I have perceived how you do it is, obviously you have your ego, you have your greed, you have the devil, like you said, you probably have the angel and the positive voices too. So do you, by observing these things and these thoughts, and as you said, listening to yourself, have you been able to sort of dissect and characterize these different feelings?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's quite like it's not weird. I think people might think it's weird, but like I think it's super necessary. As insane as it is, it's super necessary, because I need to know my enemy. I feel like the more I know and dissect what's what, the more I also know when it's me that's the site making a decision, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's scary. Like, I mean, look, people that, whether you know about faith or not, a lot of people have experienced being emotionally hijacked, where you just blow an account, like you're almost going to blow an account, but you want to blow account, so you want to get over and done with, so there's no more money to play with.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after, you're sat there like, what have I done? And I'm going to come back. You take like a 2-3 day break, and you feel like that break is enough. You come back and you're like, I'm never going to do that again. And you do it again because your mind's still the same. This is what I'm trying to say to you. You have to change the mindset. But that moment where you sit there, you're like, whoa, what just took over me? Yeah, what took over you? Good question.
Yeah, and then it's like breaking down these characteristics.
Yeah, breaking it down.
Because I knew a guy who put in, I don't know, £1,000 into account to test himself, be disciplined on this account, blew that, instantly loaded up $5,000, and then probably in the headspace of like, I just needed more money, blew that straight away as well. And it's exactly like you said, emotionally hijacked. I know I've experienced it in my journey. And, you know, again, it comes down to that self-reflection. I remember you mentioning actually at the start where you said you weren't giving up, but you had a moment where you realized you had to change. And it's like an ultimatum. Did you give yourself that sort of ultimatum moment?
Yeah, there was so much like in that one moment. Like there was another thing which was like, I think like I looked at like I heard something from a video that said like your equity curve is like this is your results. It's your like that tells you how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, wait, could I be experiencing like addiction to like losing, or just like as long as I'm playing, like I don't mind so much, because you can get addicted to unhappiness, right?
Yeah.
It's like as long as I'm in the game and I've got money to play with, yeah, because I've always been good with money. I've always had money like that. So it's like, am I just, as long as I've got money to deposit, like I had to just stop and be like, bro, I actually want to make big money from trading. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.